Hello and thank you for joining us. I'm pleased that you're here. We welcome you with open arms to enjoy some fun and frolics, some crafty chat and some crafty demos as well. My name's Ben Murray, I'm your host and you're watching The Craft Show. Thank you for joining us here on The Craft Show. It's your crafty guide, of course, to all things, well, crafty, really. We are an online show. We're not available on terrestrial TV, but you can subscribe by clicking the button below and subscribing to us on YouTube. And we're going to be bringing you The Craft Show on a regular basis. It's all about viewer contribution. It's about sending us things in, taking part in the demonstrations, and everything that is crafty, sharing that amongst everybody else. Now, the show is recorded live, but it's not broadcast live. What that means is we've recorded it in real time, but any messages that you send us, unfortunately, we won't be able to respond to at the moment. However, that doesn't stop you, of course, from posting your crafty creations on our Facebook page. To find that, simply go to Facebook and search for The Craft Show TV and you will find that on there. Now, the format of the show is going to be such that we're going to be having a main guest for every show with a few other crafty contributions as well. And it's come to that time already, very quickly after my lengthy introduction, to introduce you to our first main guest today. And that is Alison Bunning. Hi Alison, how are you doing?
Hi.
Give us a kiss.
Hi.
This is tradition, of course, on any craft shows to do the little kissy introduction there.
Of course.
Okay.
Yep.
So, Alison, can you start off by telling everybody that's watching a little bit about you and your background?
Okay. My name's Alison. I've been here at the Craft Centre for coming up to 2 years in April. I love craft.
Yep.
All sorts of craft.
Sure.
Everything. I've had a go at most things.
Most things. And what's your favourite, would you say?
Definitely needle felting.
The needle felting, and that's what you're going to be showing us today, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, the craft show is all about collaboration and people contributing, of course, to the show, so that everybody can get a piece of the action.
Yeah.
And I'm pleased to say that Alison, what her contribution to the show, apart from being a fantastic guest on the first show, is that she's loaned us her craft shop, and it's the Craft Centre in Bourne.
Yeah.
How long have you been here?
Nearly 2 years, so 2 years in April.
Okay.
Yeah, the shop's been here 3 years, and I took it over in April of 2016.
And you sell all sort of things crafty. You've got a website, of course. What's the address for that?
www.thecraftcentrebourne.com.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
excellent.
Facebook page.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can find you on there as well.
Yeah.
And you do a range of workshops in the Craft Centre as well, don't you? What sort of things do you do?
Needle felting, obviously, crochet, we've got some knitting, beginners knitting classes coming up, all sorts.
Excellent.
Variety.
All sorts
Just
of
depends.
variety.
Yeah.
That's what we like.
Yeah.
We got there in the end. She's got teeth in now.
Yeah, I got my teeth
So
in,
that's good. Okay, well, of course, the craft show is not about selling. We're not going to be doing lots of selling, which is going to set us aside, of course, from a lot of the other craft shows that are out there. However, of course, anybody that contributes to the show, we're going to be putting up their website addresses, the contacts, clickable hyperlinks. Check them out in the description as well below the video, and you'll be able to contact those people and see what they have to offer. Alison, of course, from the Craft Centre, you'll see her website. That'll appear on every show because the Craft Centre in Bourne is going to be our base, and you'll be able to click on there at any time and see what's going on. Right, without further ado, Alison, tell us a little bit about what we're going to be doing today.
Okay, we're going to be making a rather cute little spring lamb, much the same as this.
Okay.
I've got a couple of ones that are part finished, so but that's the general idea for the finished.
Because I've seen quite a few. You've got like a few little needle felt animals around the shop. In fact, I've got a couple here.
Yeah.
There we go. So we've got this little mouse here
called Morris.
Morris the mouse.
Yeah.
Very inventive there. Imagination. But he's very good, and he's reading a book. He's got some little wire glasses on there as well.
Yeah.
And then also, I notice. Oh, he's dropped his book there.
Oh, no.
I notice as well we've got a badger.
Yeah, he doesn't have a name.
Boris.
Yeah, okay, Boris.
Boris the badger.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's go with that. Boris the Badger. Okay, and so you can. It's amazing, really, from some of the needle felting I've seen, the variety of things that you can make.
Yeah.
But we've gone for the sheep today.
Yeah.
What's the reason for doing that?
Because it's two basic shapes, really.
Okay.
Well, one basic shape and then the add-ons for his ears. So it is essentially two egg shapes, I suppose.
Okay. So anybody that's not done it before should find this pretty straightforward to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. So what are we going to need to what materials will we need and tools will we need?
Okay, materials are so the base of the sheep. So if you see under here is this is the body of the sheep. This is made from this, which is core wool.
Okay.
Inexpensive, readily available.
It's what wool? Sorry.
Core, C-O-R-E.
C-O-I, core wool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Needle felts really quickly. Makes a nice firm shape.
Excellent.
So and inexpensive. So
and that's what the bulk of it's made from. Okay.
It is. Yeah. So that's the bulk of the sheep, and then when we come to the finishing off, his little curls are made with. I'll show you these later on.
Yeah.
They're made with a yarn.
Okay.
Has a slight curl to it, so it's easy to put on.
Okay.
Already has.
And that gives us the sort of woolly effect, does it?
It does. Yeah. But this one is this one here.
Yeah.
This sheep, which I've partly done and put together, is a same sort of thing, but just a slightly different style. So
okay, that's quite. I understand that. So we're going to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
So to get our hands on these, where can we get these materials from?
Most needle felting suppliers will have the sort of basic core wool and other needle felting fibres.
Sure.
These are a little bit more specialist.
Okay.
The curls used for the coat.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll be getting some. If you go along to can't remember the name.
She's looking at me for the word.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
No.
I've got a clue. This is live.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's going to say.
If you if you have a look on the website,
yes,
they should hopefully be on there.
Keep an eye on your website. And the website details will be on the screen. Of course, you can get it from a range of places, but do check out Alison's website. She's been very kind enough to provide us with a home.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know what we're going to be needing. What about tools?
Okay, tools. For the first part, for his body, we're going to use a single felting needle.
Okay.
You need something to felt onto, so a surface of some kind. This is Hessian filled with rice.
Okay.
Makes a really nice.
Is this something you've just made yourself?
Yeah, lots of people make them now.
Okay.
But it's just you can use linen or any sort of fabric that's a nice thick fabric.
Okay.
Fill it with rice.
Yeah.
Stitch it up. Fill it with rice.
Yeah.
Makes a nice firm surface. Most people use a piece of foam, but it's quite springy.
Okay. So this gives you a firmer base. And of course, if you get a bit peckish later, you've got a snack.
You've got a snack. Yeah, you have.
Okay.
Single felting needle.
Yeah.
They have little barbs on them. This is a regular felting needle, so it's got barbs when you stab into whatever it is you're making.
And then it pulls the fibres out?
No, it doesn't. It tangles them together. But you can get reverse needles which do the opposite. So they pull the fibres back out.
So what's this again, this needle that you've got here?
It's just a felting needle.
It's just a standard felting needle?
It is.
Okay.
They come in different gauges, which is different thicknesses for different fibres and different finishes. But so basically you are stabbing the fibres together.
And it's going to twist that together.
And it tangles them together. And
good stuff. So we know what materials we need. We know what tools we need.
Yeah.
Let's get crafting.
Okay. Right, so this is the core wool that we're going to use to make the body of the lamb.
Okay.
We're going to... It's up to you. You can make a big lamb, a little lamb.
Yeah.
It's entirely up to you. I'm not going to go into sort of weights and amounts because that's personal preference.
So you can make this, because the technique is the same, so you can make this as big or as small as you'd like to make it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The only thing I will say is to don't start
too big. Okay.
Because you'll struggle to get your shape to felt firmly and evenly.
Okay.
So always start slightly smaller and then build it up as you go along.
Great stuff.
So the next best trick is to get this first part bundled up quite tightly. You might find some little bits of grass and whatnot in these, which is fine. Take them out if you want to.
Yeah.
Have to. Bundle it up really tightly.
That's what you've been eating.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit of grass. it will save you time for you to get this nice and tight before you start. Then hold it together and just stab.
I can see now why you need the base to needle felt onto.
Yeah.
You're not going to hurt your fingers, you don't damage the table.
Exactly.
Gives it nice and firm.
Yeah.
How is that? Because obviously you've rolled that up. How is it that that's not unrolling now?
I mean, because just of the nature of the wool, it's slightly grippy anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
I've bundled it quite tightly.
Okay.
So I've sort of encouraged the fibres to grab onto each other, and the first few stabs will hold it together.
Okay.
So if you get the end parts where you've bundled it up and you just get the ends and smooth them round, it will hold itself.
It's quite a forgiving material, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
And then stab at the little fluffy ends just first to stop it springing apart.
Okay.
Nice
and straightforward.
Yeah, I tend to use one of these as well.
Yeah.
Which is will hold a maximum of 3 needles. I've only got 2 in here today because I think I broke one. I just haven't replaced it. It's just for speed.
Oh, okay. So
it's
it's doing it. So it reminds me a little bit of, you know, when they used to give you lines to do on the chalkboard at school.
Yeah.
And you always imagined having one of those contraptions that had 3 or 4 bits of chalk in it.
Yes.
So you could do all the different lines at the same time.
Yeah.
Without being silly, that's the same kind of principle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just speed really. When you get onto doing really big projects, it would take you forever to do it with one needle.
Yes.
So it's just and you can get other tools, handles that will hold lots and lots of needles.
Sure.
5, 6 and 7. So if you're going to be working on a really big project or you just want to speed the process up, then you can use one of those. So I'm just stabbing this, trying to encourage it into the sort of oval egg shape, but it's not terribly important at this point,
Okay.
because we're going to add over the top if we want to. You don't have to, you can have a little sheep, but if you want to make him bigger, then you're better off to start with a smaller shape and
build it up. That makes sense.
And you'll get a nice base to the shape.
So what is it that you like about the needle felting then, Alison?
I don't know, it's just
Is it relaxing?
yeah, it is. Yeah,
Mindful?
relaxing. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think the sort of repetitive action and the fact that, you know, I've got a bundle of wool here, and you know, you can make something. Doesn't matter what it is. You don't have to follow a pattern.
Yes.
Or
you can have a go.
Yeah, you can have a go. It's.
Would you say that's your most popular workshop here then? You get a lot of ladies in for that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Do you get many gents in for that sort of thing?
No, not yet. We'd like to have some gents come and do some needle crafting.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Where can they find? They can find out about that on your page.
Yeah, all the workshops are on the website.
And on the website, okay.
Yeah, and they go on the Facebook page as well. Yeah.
Perfect.
So yeah, we'd like to have some gentlemen crafters come along and join us.
Some gentlemen crafters.
Yeah. So it has started to come together.
Yeah.
Now, started to firm up.
So it's actually it's not just that it's twisting together. It's actually firming it at the shape as well.
It is. Yeah.
Can I have a squeeze?
Yeah, you can.
Wow, that's surprising.
Yeah.
That's really surprising if you've not done
Quite
that before.
quickly,
Yeah,
yeah.
very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Impressive.
So I won't do this to the full extent that I would do it if I was to carry on.
No.
But I'll show you that when you get to sort of a reasonable degree, then just get another piece of the core wool and just wrap it round the outside. So I'm just going to sort of fluff the ends out a little bit so that it doesn't make a...
So you're kind of layering it up, really.
Yeah, you are. There's quite a bit of grass in this one. And then continue until you
reach the sort of size and shape that you want.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be really solid. It wants to be fairly firm, because when you come to put the curls on the top, if it's too soft underneath, it will just sort of collapse in. So it wants to be fairly.
Do you think that and I don't know because I've not done it, but do you think that the mistake people perhaps make, or probably the mistake I would have made if it was the first time I'd done it, was trying to start off with too big a piece, and trying to firm that up, and you need to start off small, layer it, and really build it out.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
the trick.
Yeah, I've had times where if you start off with a too big a piece, you will felt the outside before the inside's felted, and almost end up with like a case.
Right, and that's why it collapses,
yeah,
presumably.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah. So, always best to start smaller and build up the shape as you go along.
I like it. It's pretty straightforward.
It is, yeah, and you can make anything. You know, it's.
And as you get more experience, you do more complex designs.
Yeah, but most things are based on shapes anyway. So they're based on a shape, a ball, an oval, a flat. When we come to do the ears, they're a flat oval.
Do you know, it's funny you should say that, because I think in the years that I've been involved in crafting to any degree, it's amazing how many things are built up from it is basic shapes. I remember we did, I worked with a lady who made like icing characters for cakes, and she showed us how to make penguins, and everything was made from cones.
Yes.
She made everything from cones. And when she broke it down, you go, I just can't believe how straightforward that is. And when you're drawing, and you're drawing dogs, or you're just, again, it's shapes, isn't it? It's making the shape, and this is the same principle.
It is, yeah. It's exactly the same principle, and then it's just building on that. When you want to do a little bit of extra on his face to give him the shape of his eyes and his nose, that's a little bit more.
Excellent.
A little bit more, but it is still just putting the shapes together.
Okay.
And
so once we've achieved this, what's the next step?
Okay, so we're going to do another one, the same as this, but smaller for his head.
Oh,
so
okay.
We're going to I've covered this in a little bit of extra, so that I can show you the next stage on. Yeah. So I've just made another oval.
Okay.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
Just smaller. So
and that's it. So we're going to connect the shapes together.
Yeah, we are.
Excellent.
And I've put a little bit of the this over the top, which is a carded Corridale, which is still an inexpensive, great for needle felting, but it's just a slightly nicer, cleaner version of the core wool. So you could use this if you wanted to, and then I've put that over the top.
Excellent.
To give me a little bit of something to attach.
So you put the better quality, smoother stuff on top.
Save the nice,
the nice
fibres for finishing off, and the detail and whatnot.
That makes sense.
Use the cheaper for the underneath.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, listen, I don't know about you. I'm a bit parched here.
Me too.
And I don't know if you're a bit parched at home and you're ready for a bit of a quick break. But I think we should have a bit of a crafty brew. Should we have a crafty brew, Alison?
Crafty brew, definitely.
Let's have a crafty brew, Alison. We're going to get the kettle on. Get the kettle on, Steve! Can't get the staff, can you? Hey, Steve's going to get the kettle on. We're going to have a crafty brew. And while we're having a crafty brew, take a look at one of our features, which is the Craft Show Quickie.
Hello and welcome to the Craft Show TV. My name is Helen O'Connor and I'm a jewellery artist, and this is your Craft Show Quickie. So I'd like to show you how to make the lovely Ollie the Owl. So let's get started. And you'll see on here that I've already cut out some faux leather, some copper, and I've also embellished this, and it's been back through the machine again. And we've got in our Sizzix Big Shot die the sticky back felt onto a nice die of flowers, vines and leaves, and we're just going to pass this through, and I think that's about perfect there. Lift that up, and there, it's as easy as that. So we're going to get our components out and pop those away. Okay, so what do we have? We have some vines, we have some flowers. There's a lovely butterfly in this design as well, but we're not going to use that, we'll keep that for another time. some larger flowers, some love hearts, and they'll all be perfect for what we're looking to do. So I'm just going to pop the actual die to one side, and all you need really is a template. I've got an owl here, and he's been cut out onto felt with a sticky back, and I've just mounted him onto this spongy board just so that he doesn't stick everywhere else really. So I've got my scissors at the ready, and the first thing I'm going to do is take the faux leather, and I'm just going to cut the flower that I have out of this, and it's any sort of flowers you can use, and I'm just going to place that down onto my sticky felt and as part of the wings. So that's our first bit there done already. The next bit we need now, I'm thinking of the tail down this area, so we're going to cut the felt flower in half, and I'm just going to shape it a bit because it's a little bit flat along the top, and I wanted a more of an angled effect really for his tail. So we're just going to peel this off if we can. Yeah, there he goes, and we'll pop that into place as well. So we're going to come down here and have our tail coming down there like that. And the next thing we need to do now is a smaller, we're going to look at a smaller sort of flower here. I've already cut a little flower in half, and that will go as the next layer up of the tail there. Now we need wings to sort of bring those out and stand those out. So I'm going to use a small flower, I think, for the wings. Let's give that a go. So I've cut a small flower in place, and this is going to go on the top there. So this is my next layer up. There we go, that looks pretty good. I think that's working for me there. Yep. And we're going to look at now, I've just opened up the embossing folder with all these beautiful embossed pieces I did earlier. On the Big Shot Sizzix, I did this one as well. And we're just going to take the little smaller flowers there, cut them in half. They're going to go onto the wings again. One, and the second one, two, onto the wings. Then we're going to look at the body and the head. So we've got these lovely vines to utilise. So I think we'll utilise that as well for the tummy area. So we'll just see if that sort of fits there. Yeah, and remember you can use any sort of shapes and sizes as long as you've got a template on the go. It's surprising really what you can come up with. So as long as you have a shape, an outline shape cut out, you could use anything at all. So I'm going to use the half of a love heart there as well, and this will form, I thought, quite good sort of googly eyes. So I'm going to pop those on ready for our owl. That looks good there. And the next thing we need now is some eyebrows, something to distinguish him with. So I'm going to, I think, use one of the embossed love hearts there. We're going to start off very down low and close to the edge, and I'm just sort of inside the love heart, and I'm coming down quite a way and following the love heart shape around. So I've created an inner love heart, which we don't need at the moment. We've also created this little piece on top here, and this is what I'd like to use for the eyebrows. So Ollie has quite big eyebrows, so we're just going to pop that on, pop those in place, and I think that all we're missing then really is some nice eyes. So I've got some really nice gemstones here, and I've just put a little bit of a black marker in there just to give them a bit of definition, and they're sticky backed as well, but of course you could use a little bit of glue, that's not a problem. And I think we're done there, so I'm just going to mount him off the board, and you can see he's a lovely little owl. You could pop him on anything you like, even use him in your other designs. So I hope you enjoyed making Ollie and his friend, and I look forward to seeing you again. So thank you. Bye bye.
Well, welcome back to the craft show. I hope you enjoyed our craft show quickie a few minutes ago. Lots of those to come, so keep your eyes on the show for that. We've been enjoying our crafty brew, haven't we?
You have.
Steve finally got himself in gear and made us a nice brew. I won't tell he's making signs behind the camera. I won't tell you what. So before you left us, we were in the middle of doing some needle felting with Alison Bunning from the Craft Centre in Bourne, and we've been making the sheep.
Yep.
So where did we get up to? Because we got the body done.
Yeah.
You made the ball for the head.
Yeah.
What's next?
We've done the body. That was how we started, and we said that the head was exactly the same process, just smaller. Obviously.
Okay.
So I've assumed that we've got to that point.
Yep.
And we will attach the head to the body.
Yep.
With a little bit of, I'll explain that when we get to it.
Okay.
But the next bit we'll do is we'll do his ears next.
Okay, so we're moving forward to the ears, and then we're going to come back and put those
and then we
all
can
together.
put it all together.
Okay.
Yeah. So they are made from, I showed you this briefly to start with. This is the Corriedale wool, which is similar to the core wool.
Okay.
Just done in a strip like
so
this.
that was a sort of a more refined piece of material, wasn't it? And it's a wool, is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And is it all natural or is it synthetic? Or?
No, these are all natural.
They're all natural.
This is a Corriedale, so from a Corriedale sheep.
A Corriedale sheep.
Yeah.
Okay.
The core wool is a mixture of all sorts, so it could be anything.
My nan watches that.
Corriedale.
Corriedale sheep. Oh, Coronation Street.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, Corriedale.
Easy mistake to make.
Yeah. So we're gonna take a strip of this.
Yep.
Probably. However long that is.
You should never ask a man that.
No.
Oh, because I would say that. Well.
Yeah.
Let's not go there.
No,
it's
let's not
daytime.
go there.
No, it might not be daytime.
We're going to take a piece
About yay long.
about yay long.
Okay.
And split that in half.
Okay.
Lengthwise.
Okay.
So you've got 2 strips. That will be almost the same finished size.
Okay.
Always better to do that than to do one ear and then
Yes.
think, oh, how much did I use for that? And end
Oh,
up
okay.
with one
So
huge
spread it
ear.
out to start with, so you know where you are.
So have
Okay.
your 2 bits. So whatever you're making, that you need 2 of.
Yeah.
Have your wool prepared first before you start making them.
Okay.
So you end up with 2
Good
the same
tip.
size. So.
What does it say? Measured twice, cut once.
Yes. Yeah.
Good tip.
Then I'm going to use one of these big lolly sticks.
Okay.
I've got lots of sticks of various little lolly sticks.
Okay.
They're good for wrapping round to get, again, a uniform size.
Yeah.
So I would best put it, leave a little bit of fluffy end,
Okay.
which is this bit here,
Yeah.
which will be the part that you attach to it.
So we can see that at home. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm going to wrap the lolly stick in a bit of a diagonal
Okay.
way.
So sort of opposite diagonals.
Yeah.
As you go around.
So backward and forward.
Can you show us that again? Can you unwind it?
I
Show it to your mind.
Yeah. No, not at all.
Just so we can catch that. Or use the other bit if it's easier. I'm messing up your demo now.
That's okay. So I'm going to diagonal down.
Okay.
And then cross back up.
Ah, yeah, I see that.
And
Yeah.
then down again.
Okay.
It just makes it rather than wrapping it round and round and round, it just makes it a slightly
Okay.
firmer sort of shape in the middle.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then turn your stick around and do the other ear the same on the other side, and then you can gauge then the the size.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to do like that, like that, and like that. I've got a little bit extra on this one. I'm just going to take that off. Okay, so they are almost the same.
Okay.
Then we're going to slide those off like that. So it's just given us a rough shape so that they are.
So if you put those next to each other, you can see that's the shape that you're getting.
It's got that sort of ear shape.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and then we'll use the single needle to start with, and you're just going to start stabbing this down and encouraging that ear shape. Okay.
So it's not. So the needle is not just really used to intertwine the fibres. You can also shape the wool using that needle, depending on how you are.
Yeah.
What would you call that process? Poking it?
Yeah, we call it stabbing. Which
Stabbing.
Is, yeah, is only needle felting that you can get away with.
Yes, in this day and age.
Yeah. So yeah, poking, stabbing, felting.
Teasing.
Yeah.
Shaping.
So that one's already started
to
sort of have a
well, that's surprising how
little
quickly
bit
that's
of an ear
happened.
shape. And then I've also got one of these. I don't know if we talked about this to start with. This is this has got multiple needles in and like a safety cover. That is good for making flat pieces.
Okay.
So,
how is that different then to the other piece that you've got?
Well, first of all, it's got lots of needles in. So there's 7 needles in here. So it will stabbing all at once, so creating a flatter.
Oh, okay.
Whereas
that makes sense.
one's going to poke in.
Yeah.
This is going to sort of encourage
It's
more,
pushing it all down as well as entwining it. Okay.
So this twiddles round so that you can lock it off so that the needles don't come
Safety.
out. Yeah. So you just I've locked it now. I can't. That's it.
It's not childproof lock, is it?
Yeah.
It's a childproof.
Yeah.
I see.
Absolutely. So by doing this, can you see how it's flattening it out? Really flattening it out now.
Oh yeah.
So it's made a real flat shape.
That looks good actually.
Pushing it all together, and depending on the direction that you do this, so if you angle it slightly, you will be able to encourage that ear shape in.
I like the way that you keep using the term encourage. I like that. I'm going to encourage it to go where I want it to go. I wish I could do that with my kids.
Yeah. No, it doesn't happen with
Doesn't,
kids.
does it?
No.
It might do if I use one of those needle
Yeah, it
felters.
might do, yeah.
Don't do that. We don't endorse that.
No, definitely not. So I've just swapped over to a slightly thicker needle here because that one was a little bit fine. I tend to interchange between all of them depending on how I feel, what I want to achieve.
Yeah.
If I think that it's still too thick, then I might go back to this one to flatten it out a bit more. If it's too big, I might use a single one to push.
So they all have slightly different purposes, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Although they kind of do the same. So you've got the single needle, which is what we started off with.
Yeah.
That you pushing that in, and that's intertwining the fibres together. That's making it firmer.
Yeah.
You've got the pink one. What's that one called? This is like a multi-needle.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
It's actually called a clover pen. But
a clover pen.
Yeah, that's their. Yeah.
Not now. It's now called the multi-needle.
Yeah, multi-needle.
Which I'm copywriting.
Yeah.
So, and that essentially does the same thing, but it saves you time.
Yeah, it's just speedier because you've got multiple needles in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've also got the other one. What's that called?
A punch tool.
A punch tool.
Yeah.
And that's not only going to do the job of multiple needles, but it's also going to help to flatten the fibres down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you can use this for this, but you will find that it will flatten it out a little bit.
You
so
don't want
we tend to save it for flat things such as feet and ears and such like.
Now,
so,
I don't want to point out the obvious, but this one's got a bit of pink on it.
It has, which I'm going to do right now.
How do we do that?
Okay, so a little bit of the pink, and really a very little bit. It is
goes
quite
a long way.
Yeah. It's
use it sparsely.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to lay that on top of his ear. Now, if you were to stab from the top side where the pink is,
yes,
attach it like that, you would get little bits of pink come through the back because obviously it's pushing the fibres through.
Okay.
So I tend to like to flip it over,
yeah,
just make a little bundle, flip it over, and then give it a few pokes with that.
Okay.
And you'll push the white through instead,
Okay.
so it won't look, he won't have little pink bits on the back of his ears.
Okay, that makes sense.
So that will still attach it. You will need to
Yes.
give it a little bit of a poke from this side, but just do it quite lightly on this side so
Okay.
that you're not pushing too much of the pink through
And
to
you
the
can
other
see
side.
how that's building up the colour.
Yeah.
So is it the same principle with the needle felting as when we're making the ball? Add a little bit,
Yeah.
stab it, add a little bit, stab it.
It's always better to add a little bit as opposed to, I mean, once you get to this sort of stage, you can't take away then. So it's better to build up because it's more difficult to, well, impossible to remove.
Okay.
So you're better off to put a little bit of this pink on and then think, well, actually I'd like it a little bit pinker than that.
Do you know, that's amazing how quickly that has darkened up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very
So
surprising.
I've got some little pink bits come through that side, which isn't too much of a problem. So you can just give it another poke from the other side, which will help attach the pink.
Excellent.
Okay.
So we've got our main body, we've got our head, we've created our ears.
Yeah, we have.
What's the next step?
Okay, so the next step is on his head I've put a little bit of this.
Oh, I'm spilling tea all everywhere.
I've put a little bit of this Corriedale wool, which we used for his ears,
Okay.
over the head of the sheep, just a little bit, laid it over and left some fluffy ends and just stabbed that on, attached that down.
Okay. Can you
Just
just show us that again, just over here?
give us a little bit
That's it.
of. So all I've done is just take a piece of this, laid it over the top, smoothed it down, and just left these fluffy ends here.
Okay.
And stabbed that on, attached that on, the same as I did with the body to start with. That's just given me a little bit of a fluffy end.
Okay.
So that we can attach it to his body. Otherwise, we would struggle to get the smooth wool to attach to each other.
Yeah. Okay.
So you then position his head in wherever you want it to go, however you want it, looking to the side, looking up a little bit, it doesn't matter, however you choose. Hold it on with one hand and then use one of your single needles to just stab this fluffy part onto his body, and then that will hold it in place. So, like it's already held on a little bit there. You can just tidy that edge bit up.
So it's one of those things, isn't it, that once you know how to do it, it's pretty straightforward. I'm not saying it's an easy thing to do, but it's straightforward. It makes sense.
And they're the same techniques that you would use for making any sort of dog, bunny, whatever it is you make.
Boris. The badger.
Yeah.
Which is what it's called now. What was this one called? I can't remember.
Know if it was Boris.
Oh, all the bits are falling off this one.
Morris.
Morris the mouse.
Yeah,
Morris and Boris.
The mouse. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So the principle is the same.
Yeah, he's got a wire inside, so I've made a wire skeleton for him.
Okay. Is that so you can adjust him?
Yeah, and then built up on that.
Okay.
He's just made the same way as this, but he was made almost like a teardrop shape, and then you just again encourage the shape into him by how you and where you stab with your needle.
Okay.
So and then he's covered in a
I like him a lot.
the nice one. Yeah.
Put him over there.
So okay. So that's sort of getting there. Then to attach his ears, we've left this little fringy bit at the end. We're just going to sort of split that into two, if you like. So open it up so that you have a bit front and a bit back, and then you can put his ear on his head.
Oh, I see.
And then you've got
securing it from both sides.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
that
then
makes
you've got
sense.
the same as we had around his head to attach his ears with. So just hold that with one hand.
Has he got a name?
Cedric? Cyril.
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 Cyril the sheep.
Cyril.
I've got, you know, it's one of those things you want to name things, isn't it? Cyril the sheep. So because it's important that he's got a name, because we're going to give him away, aren't we?
We are. Yeah.
We're going to give him away to one of the lucky viewers.
Yeah, we are.
So what you need to do is, if you're interested in receiving Cyril the sheep,
yeah.
what we want you to do is share our crafty page, the Craft Show TV, on Facebook. If you share that for us, and we will randomly pick out somebody that shared the page and contact you for details of where to send Cyril the sheep.
Yeah.
And you can be the proud owner of a sheep. You haven't got to feed it or anything.
No.
It's just a bonus.
No, yeah.
Good. He's looking good.
Well, he needs a bit of refining, but he's getting there. His ears are a little bit big. But
he's looking good.
He'll be fine.
The only problem with him is he looks like he's been sheared.
Yeah, he's only got half of his coat on.
So how do we go about putting the coat on? Because you used something different for that, didn't you?
I did. I used for him. I used this, which is it's a yarn, but it's a special felting yarn.
Okay.
And it comes bundled up just like a ball of wool. And
Can we take a closer look at that at home?
We can.
So we can see what it's like.
It has a black thread running through it.
Okay.
I haven't got any scissors to
right.
hand at the moment. I can probably.
I'm squeaking around on my chair just trying to see if I can see some scissors somewhere. Oh! Woohoo! Good job. Scissors Steve.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve.
So we would cut a length of this, and then this black thread that's running through, just find the end and just pull the black thread out. And you're left with a nice ringlet
I see.
of wool. It will come out eventually.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
Just while you're doing that very quickly, because we're running out of time.
Yep.
But just while we do that, you keep doing that. I'm just going to find on here, because we were very lucky before we launched the show, in that we did a bit of a search for people to send us in crafty items with the Craft Show on them, and we had a fantastic response. And each show, we're just going to show you what was sent in and who sent it in. Starting off with Marie Chessum. Hello Marie, if you're watching. Hopefully you are. Keep an eye out for your crafty item. And she sent us this fantastic Scrabble picture.
Oh, lovely.
Which you'll be able to see on your screen now.
Yep.
Where she's put the craft show in, she's framed it, and she's got some diamantes. And if you can see the picture of Marie there as well, she's got some sort of strange ears going on. I'm not quite sure what's happened there. So hi Marie, thank you very much for that. And I'll show you one more, which is from Loppylou, and Loppylou has sent us this little crafty card. In fact, I've got it behind me. There we go. And she's gone to the trouble of creating a crafty card for us. Thank you for that, Loppylou. Very nice, very nice. Keep on sending us any items that you'd like to send us with the Craft Show on, and please do keep sharing your crafty creations on our Facebook page. You can do that, of course, just go onto Facebook and search for the Craft Show TV. So how are we going on? So you've taken the black thread out of there.
Yeah, I've taken the black thread out and just stabbing it in, which will just attach, sort of bundle it up a little bit, so rook it up so that it makes a nice crimpy coat, and attach it all over.
I love it.
And then it's up to you if you want to go over his head like I have done here. Just give them a little bit of a
So you're doing a fantastic job there. Nice. So what about, where do we get the eyes from? Just on the final note. Because you've got little eyes in there.
Little black beads, little black sewing beads, or you can get glass eyes or
How do you
plastic
attach
eyes.
those then?
They're an eye, so I've just poked a hole in with a cocktail stick.
Oh, okay.
Make a little hole with a cocktail stick.
Okay.
Or like a darning needle.
Yeah.
And then push his eyes in. You can put a little bit of glue on if you're going to do those.
Okay.
Or little black seed beads, glass jewellery beads. Just sew those through.
Brilliant. Sew the sheep.
Yeah, and then a little pink nose, which is the same sort of
technique as
the ears. Yeah, just take a little piece off. Again, you only need a very little bit. Make a little bundle. It just makes it easier to handle. Bundle it up, and then just pop it on his nose.
Excellent.
And then you can attach that in.
And you can see how that could be a sheep. It could be a dog. It could be a yellow Easter chick.
Yeah, bunny.
Bunny. All sorts of different things. And the technique is the same.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it needs a little bit of fining, but you get the general.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, Alison, do you know what? We're practically out of time. But we have really enjoyed you being here, of course, and showing us some needle felting technique with Seal the Sheep. Don't forget, please do share the page. And if you share the page, you're in with a chance of receiving Seal the Sheep. Alison will be back with another demo on a future show. We'd like to say thank you to Alison with respect to letting us use her space, her craft show. Please do visit her website, which is on the screen, and also please do check out the website and her Facebook page as well to see what sort of workshop she's got coming up in the future. That's an absolute pleasure to have you here. And talking about workshops, very quickly before we go, we've had a couple of pictures sent in from different people that are running workshops. Please do send yours in to us as well. We have one here, if I can find it. I should have done my research, really, shouldn't I? You think it'd have been a bit more organised, Alison? Yeah, thanks for filling there while I'm finding it. But you can see a picture on here. This one was sent in by Karen Varley. She sent in the picture. She runs a craft group in a local coffee shop. I like the sound of that. On a Thursday. Yeah. And you can find out a bit more about that, if you like the picture on the screen, by visiting Facebook, Dunmark Paper Crafts, and you'll see a link in the description below the video as well. Please do keep sending those in. Well, until next time, we hope to see you again very soon. Thank you very much, Alison, and we'll see you in the next show. This has been The Craft Show. Bye.
Bye.